Very, very quick video. I haven't done one for ages. Been a lot going on, to say the least. Um, I've just seen a newspaper article, I think in the Daily Mirror, and I haven't read the full article, but I've got the gist of it. Yvette Cooper, who, if everything goes as catastrophically wrong in this country as it appears to be going, is almost certain to be the next Home Secretary. Now, she is, in my opinion, she is a far left um, agitator, as are all of the Labour Party. The Labour Party, don't for one minute think the Labour Party is a nice, soft and cuddly, we care for everybody organisation. The Labour Party, with people like Yvette Cooper, David Lammy and Sir Keir, would quite happily cut any of us, the working class British people who care about the country, are patriotic and are worried about tens of thousands of unregistered illegal migrants coming into the country. They would cart us all off to the Gulag and give those people that are coming in our homes. That's the reality of the situation. And this is a nightmare scenario if Labour get in. And as much as I detest, and I do detest the Conservatives, I think that they're, well, I'm not even going to go there with the Conservatives. If Labour get into power, two or three things are going to happen. UK will probably be split up, and I'm talking about Northern Ireland getting booted out of the United Kingdom. Or if Northern Ireland doesn't get kicked out of the United Kingdom, what will happen is the Labour Party will say the only way we can sort out Northern Ireland and the protocol is basically rejoining the EU in all but name. You're basically going to have a Brino on steroids, okay? So that's what's going to happen when the Labour Party get into power. So anybody that thinks it doesn't matter whether the Labour Party are in power for 5 years, 10 years, they need to go and see a psychiatrist. Look at all the damage that Liar Blair did when he was Prime Minister and his little minions, and they're all still there. They're all still there. Incidentally, Blair was a Trotskyist when he was a kid. So this sort of soft, nice, cuddly Labour Party doesn't exist, okay? The Labour Party is extremely dangerous, in my opinion, extremely dangerous to the country. There's some very dangerous individuals. You think it's bad at the minute? Get Labour in for 5 years. You'll be crying for those scumbag Tories to come back. Obviously, we need a new political dispensation. We had one in UKIP, and Farage and his friends decided to destroy that on us about 4 or 5 years ago. And now all you're left with is a few micro parties since Anne-Marie had a wobble and hung up her boots. So there's nothing there politically. There's nothing there. Don't think the Reform Party are going to do anything. The Reform Party is run by ex-Tories. They're no different. They're no different. They're all establishment figures. And anybody that raises up their head above the parapet and wants to do something that's anti-establishment is literally going to get the head cut off. You're going to be dragged off to the Gulag by these people. They really are dangerous. They're very, very dangerous. And this is borne out. Now, I am, as everybody knows, I am no fan of patriotic alternative. I think they're beyond the pale in terms of the politics that they believe in. But they have a right to believe those things. I don't like it. I think they're wrong. I've stood up to them face to face. I've said stuff on social media about them before. I've been attacked by them. I've been attacked by people on the extreme far right. But the reality is that they have a right to those opinions. And the fact that Yvette Cooper wants them to be prescribed, they're not terrorists. They're not blowing things up. They're not shooting people. They are people that I disagree with fundamentally, in the same way that I disagree with the people that play identity politics on the left. They're a mirror image of the far left. The far left and the far right mirror image of each other. They use identity to get power and to destroy communities. And I despise that. I despise the Labour Party for getting involved in identity politics, Black Lives Matter and all that sort of stuff. And I despise the far right white supremacists as well. To me, colour doesn't matter. But the point is that Yvette Cooper is calling for these organisations to be banned. And that is very, very dangerous. Because what they're doing is, it's a broad brush. It's like the old adage: first they came for the communists, then they came for the Jews, then they came for the gypsies, then they came for me. That is the situation, and there is no threat from the far right. The threat that we face in this country is the vile, disgusting, insidious far left agenda that is working in politics, that is working in the media, that is working in the military, that's working in the police, that's working in every area of government. The far left have taken over. They are in control, and we need to stand up to them. And the last thing that you want is Yvette Cooper as Home Secretary. And dare I say it, if she becomes Home Secretary, who's going to be her chief advisor on far right extremism? And of course, far right is anybody that's from the Conservative Party, going onwards. That's it. If you're not a true, dyed in the wool internationalist communist, you're far right as far as these scumbags are concerned. It'll be those vile, insidious individuals in hate, not hope. Yes, you heard it, hate, not hope, because that's what they should be called. Scumbags who targeted all of us because we had the audacity to make films about rape gangs operating throughout this country. Those scumbags will be advising Yvette Cooper. She's nice. She's so nice. She's so gentle. She's so kind. No, she's not. She's dangerous. She's dangerous. Anyway, that's what's going to happen if Labour Party get in. So, I don't like the Conservatives, but if I was in England, sadly, I would be voting for the scummy Conservatives rather than the dangerous, Britain-hating, insidious, vile Labour Party. All these groups stand up for rapism is one of them, isn't it? Stand up for rapism. They're one of the Labour Party offshoots. All these other groups that are playing the identity politics game and screaming at people, screaming everybody's a Nazi that doesn't agree with them. They're absolutely insidious. But this is not a game. And in Northern Ireland, we have no say in whether Labour or Conservative get in. We either vote Unionists or we vote Nationalists. That's just the way it is in this country. But in England, you guys can stop this insidious cancer taking over our country. And like I say, I do not like the Conservatives. They'll have their day of reckoning, and they need to have a day of reckoning. But you've got to stop Labour because they'll destroy everything, even worse than it is. Anyway, rant over. By the time the Labour government get power, we'll probably all just be smoking ashes because of all this crazy provocation of the Russians, But hey ho, it is what it is. Anyway, first video in age, a little bit of a rant. Don't vote Labour. Get out and vote Conservative through gritted teeth, and make sure that these dangerous individuals do not get their hands on the reins of power again, because if they do, anybody that doesn't agree with their narrow, bigoted agenda, or even that speaks out against it, because most people don't agree with it, but they're terrified. You'll be getting trailed off to the Gulag if Labour get in. Absolute fact. See you all soon.